Hello, and it's Perry Cole again, and we're doing another training session on CV+. I guess I ought to come up with a name for these. And today we have Carol Schyberg from Northern California joining me to talk about CV+ and how she's had incredible success, one of the top salespeople in the country in positioning CV+ to her customers. Before I do that, I want to take just a minute to talk about kind of the three pillars, the three legs of the stool of CV+. Number one is the e-business plan, which I know you're all familiar with. The second leg of the stool is the knowledge portal that's available to all doctors, and you can get to that through coopervision.com or through a link that's available as well. And then the third leg of the stool is our service providers. So those three all come together to really put together the CV+ program. But today what we're going to be talking about specifically is the e-business plan and how Carol positions, or CV+, and how she uses the business plan and elements of that to help sell the plan to her doctors. But before we go into that, I want to make it really clear that CV+ is not a Facebook program. It's not strictly social media. Social media is an important aspect of CV+, or better said, the doctor's digital footprint that they have out there. But we don't want to focus entirely on Facebook and social media, but we do understand that it is a part of that. So with that, Carol, thank you for being here today. And tell me, first thing is, you're going to go out into your territory and talk to your accounts. How do you target who you're going to talk to about CV+?
I personally just go after everybody. I found that I don't want to make any judgments based on age or level of their sales business with me. The obvious is people have inventoried with us in the past, but I go after everybody because I don't think there's anyone who can't benefit from social media, from the online reputation, from everything else that we have to offer for them.
Okay. So as you're talking to your accounts, you're positioning it to everyone. Are you having any different level of success with your A4s versus your A1s or your A3s?
No, I find that they all, one of my first successes was a guy who has done virtually no business with me. So, and all of a sudden he's all over it and he wants to do ClearSight, he wants to do ProClear one day, and he can't wait to jump on all sorts of bandwagons. So I find that it's a benefit to get accounts that didn't do any business with me, which is obviously huge incremental sales for me, as well as the obvious A1s and A2s and A4s, accounts that are already doing a lot of CooperVision, or at least a lot of business with hopefully one product. So I'm going after them all. I don't worry about any of that. I just want to go and see what they need, and if hopefully I can help grow their business, it's going to be a win-win for both of us.
Fantastic. So it's helping you not just to sell deeper into your existing accounts, but also generate new business.
Absolutely.
Okay. So as you're looking at your calls for the next day, you're going to go through some level of preparation. Relative to CV+, what does that look like?
I do a couple different things. For the first accounts of the morning, I typically will try and go through and get their Google, Google them, maybe Yelp them if that's the case. I typically just do those two just because of the time. If I have my computer with me for the day, which I typically am trying to do these days, I will also do that prior to the previous, the next appointment, so that I can go in with just fresh information. I don't print it out. I just want to have the information in my head so I can say, hey, I Yelped you and you didn't show up, or you did show up and did you know you have 3 bad reviews and only 1 good review, or whatever the case may be. I also print out their numbers if their numbers are worth printing out, and what I mean by that is they could be a growing account, but they could be a small account and they've done, let's say, 25 boxes of Biofinity in the last 4 months. Well, I don't want to tell them that because I'm trying to get a 100-box order out of them.
Right.
So if they're a big account and they're growing their business, I definitely want to talk about numbers, but that's as a part to the CV+. If they're a small account or an account who's maybe just hasn't done enough in the categories that I'm trying to sell them with the CV+, I probably won't print out their numbers so that I don't use that, or they can't use that against me when it's time to close the deal. So it just depends on the account.
So it sounds to me like having an immediate understanding of their online presence.
Yeah.
It really serves you well when you're talking to them.
Yeah, just enough so that I can go in there, because what I don't want to have happen is go in there and say, well, you don't show up on Google Place, and they're like, yeah, I do. So
right.
I want to have some knowledge say, well, yeah, you do under eye doctor, but you don't under eye exam, or you don't under contact lenses. because there's all the different variations that they can be searched for. You know, that's the online reputation, that's the online searching, and ultimately, that's what CV Plus is all about, is search engine optimization as well as all the rest of it, so yeah.
Okay. And how long does it take you to go through that process?
So a minute.
Okay.
A minute per account.
So you're not, we're not
No,
talking about.
No, I do 1 or 2 quick searches and if, you know, and then just see where they land.
Okay. So, once you do the search, I think you may have already answered the question, but is there anything that you're looking for specifically when you go through that?
Just want to see where they land on the page, if they do land, and if they have any reviews, let's say like Yelp. Because like you said earlier, you know, CV Plus is their online overall big pictures, the overall landscape of what they are. So it's not just the social media, the Facebook and the Twitter, although, you know, Twitter's overkill in my opinion for some of these guys. I think it'd take them right out of their gourd. But Facebook and the social media part of it is one part, but then there's their online reputation. So that's why I do Google and Yelp. Google is your search, Yelp is your online reputation. So I want to kind of give them a little bit of both of what we're already talking about. Yeah.
So you've done your targeting, your preparation, now you're in front of the account. What kind of questions do you ask?
I typically will go through, you know, from the, you know, through the Richardson model, you know, I use that system so that I can ask them the questions as to where they're going with 2012. You know, how are you planning on growing your business? What are you looking to do? Are you looking at more vision therapy, glaucoma? You're going after, you know, myopic patients? You know, what are you doing to grow your account and how are you going to get there? You know, what are your goals? Maybe their goals are just, I want to grow by 10%. I'm trying to bring in new patients, whatever the case may be. How are you going to get there? And so then it's, you know, okay, you're going to get there via what system? And then it kind of just evolves right into, you know, online reputation and social media and all the other search engines that go out there to help them grow their practice. So it just kind of evolves right into it.
Okay.
I might throw in a dig once in a while too with, you know, hey, you want to grow with glaucoma, you want to grow with presbyopia. Did you know that Facebook's fastest growing, I'll typically ask the question versus tell, but you know, Facebook's fastest growing segment is the 55 to 65-year-old female. That's a huge comment. Most of them don't get that. They all think it's 20-somethings. You know, so it's like, oh, really? Okay, well, here's a patient base you could go right into. You know, hey, bioaffinity multifocal is a perfect situation for that patient. Let's talk about how to grow that business. So it just kind of, it evolves naturally once you get into it.